Eartha Kitt started off about as far from international stardom as you can get. She was born penniless on a cotton plantation in South Carolina in the 1920s. And one of her earliest memories was of being abandoned by her mother. In the South at that time, she was too light-skinned for black folks and too dark for white folks. So when her mother wanted to start a life with her new husband, Eartha was dumped off at a neighboring farm, where she was beaten, and by age 7 she was picking 100 pounds of cotton for $1 a day. That was her life, until she was informally adopted by her aunt in Harlem. Eartha spent most of the Great Depression in the sink-or-swim deep end of New York. In her first year, she had to catch up on 3 years of school. She learned Spanish by hanging out with her Cuban friends in the Bronx, and would go on to learn 9 languages. But her aunt turned out to be abusive, both emotionally and physically, so teenage Eartha would run away from home. And to make ends meet, she got jobs as a school administrator, a seamstress, a factory worker, and a farmer upstate. Through a chance encounter with a dancer on the street, Eartha went in for an audition at the Katherine Dunham Dance School, more or less on impulse. Despite her only previous dance experience being messing around in Cuban dance halls, she won a scholarship to the school, and at age 15 she quit everything else to become a professional dancer. She traveled all over with the dance troupe. And when she was in Paris, she caught the eye of Orson Welles, who cast her as Helen of Troy in his stage production of Dr. Faustus.
Right now, I'd like you to meet the very, very wonderful and talented Miss Eartha Kitt.
She was introduced to the mainstream by the Broadway musical revue New Faces of 1952, where she performed several songs, including her famous Christmas hit, Santa Baby. The Broadway revue was turned into a movie, featuring sketches written by a young Mel Brooks. She went on to co-star in movies with Sidney Poitier, Sammy Davis Jr., and Nat King Cole. Despite not knowing who she was, Eartha successfully invited herself over for tea with Albert Einstein. She taught her friend, James Dean, how to dance. And she was Marilyn Monroe's lifeline in the wee hours of the morning, when the self-loathing and doubt were at their strongest. Her nickname Kitty, and her purring persona as a sex kitten, coalesced in the late 1960s when she replaced Julie Newmar as Catwoman in the Batman TV show. Eartha was an activist who felt compelled to give back. She had a strong moral compass. Her assertive personality had only one gear: full throttle. And when she was invited to a token ladies' luncheon at the White House in 1968, she didn't hold back on her views about the immorality of Vietnam. Lady Bird broke down in tears. LBJ hit the roof. He got the Secret Service and the CIA to dig up dirt on her. The result was a 3-page dossier, detailing and sensationalizing her sex life. Then magically, sponsors, shows, agencies, and opportunities started drying up. Being unofficially under investigation put the brakes on her career in the States for about a decade. She worked overseas, and when she came back, she toured, released new albums, wrote more books, played Lady Eloise in Boomerang, and Yzma in Emperor's New Groove. She was a dancer, singer, actor, writer, sex symbol, activist, leader, and a superhero. So it's no wonder that Orson Welles described her as the most exciting woman in the world.